Hi everyone. So in this video, we are going to cover functions in PowerShell. How do we write and create functions just to get started? This is not comprehensive course in functions, but we are going to cover a few basic items. So let's jump right in. So first of all, what's the difference between function and commandlet? Commandlet actually seems like a function in PowerShell. However, they are not really written in PowerShell. They are written in outside of PowerShell in some scripting language, most probably in C#, and then gets imported and utilized here. All right, so let's jump right in. I have the Visual Studio Code open. So I'm going to create a new file and let's call it my function.ps1. And okay, so let's write basic syntax. It's probably very similar to how we have a function in other programming language. It starts with keyword function, and then we give the name. Let's say we can say install Mac, and then let's just write it. All right, so this is very basic function. So first we have loaded, and then let's run the function, and we see the output Mac. Okay, this Mac is successfully installed. So this is very basic function. So let's now start adding more options to it. So first thing is, how do we add parameters to our function? So for that, what we do is we start like this, and we have to give first commandlet binding, and then we specify parameter, open bracket, and here again we have to give parameter, and then we have the options to give to specify type of a parameter and then name. So let's say string and version, and let's write it here, the version, Mac version is successfully installed, right? Yeah, I think this is good. So let's save it, and I'm going to select this and run, and then install Mac. If we run again, Mac is successfully installed. You see, I've run without the parameter, and hence it has given the empty string in place of the version parameter. If we give version 2, now we see Mac version 2 is successfully installed. And this actually goes to the second portion of it. By default, the parameters are optional, so we can either specify or not. But what if we want to make it mandatory? For that, we just need to add the option, the word mandatory here. Save it. We load this again, and then we run install Mac again. So now that we have not given version, but still now it's asking for us to give a version. Let's give version 5, and now it says replaces 5 for the version. So this is how you set the mandatory and optional parameters. Okay, now next situation might come where you want to restrict certain parameters in the function, right? For that, we can achieve with our validation, parameter validation, where it validates that the parameters that the function supports has a certain input. So for that, we just add, prior to our declaration of our parameter, we just add validate set, and then here we can give the options. So let's give options only 1, 2, 3, right? Only these options are allowed. And that's it. So now we can load this again and then try to run install Mac with first let's try with version 3. So it's suppose. Now let me try with version 4. Now you see it gives us the error. So this is how you can restrict certain number of values for your parameters. All right. Okay, now the third thing we are going to see is how do we accept input from pipeline, right? So let's make a function that can accept parameters and set the parameters from the pipeline. So for that, what we can do is let's add another parameter here. Parameter, and let's make it mandatory. And for that, to be able to accept this from pipeline, we have to give value from and then this will be string. We can say here Mac name. So Mac name is going to come from pipeline, and we can say here we can give the Mac name. So this will be our, and we are going to specify, create a variable here, Mac name, and then this will be an array of object. Let's say lion Sierra, and let's say leopard, right? Suppose these are the three items in the array. So now first let's load this, and let's just see that the variable returns. It does. So now we are going to pipe this to our function. So this will be on, I didn't load the function first, so let me load the function also. Okay, so now we can run this. So I'm going to give Mac name, pipe that to install Mac, and we're going to give version as 3. Okay, so version 3, so it's going to give only for the last one right now. So in order for it to run for all the items in the array, we have to make a small change. What we need to create is we need to create a process block and have our function code inside the process block. So I'm just going to create this process section and copy paste the statement here. So now let me load this again. Let me run the command again. So now you see, for all the items that we are getting from our array pipe input, it's passing to the install Mac function, and then it's running that for all the elements in the array. Okay, so this was a basic course or basic lesson on functions in PowerShell. All right, that's all for now. Thank you.